Acidonia 158, and today we're going to do a video response to Novabugs again with his Friday Foursome, and this time on most cherished games. So I'm going to start back with one of the very first games I remember playing as a child, and that was Dig Dug on the Atari 2600. Why is that 2600? I don't know. Well, who cares what it said? Well, anyway, yeah, Dig Dug. Everyone knows Dig Dug. It's one of the Namco classics, although obviously the old arcade version outside Japan said it was by Atari and Namco's name nowhere on it. But anyway, I definitely remember the arcade version of that game more. Not the arcade version mod. What am I talking about here? The console version, the Atari version more. Because I remember we didn't get very few new games for the time when we owned one, but then parents bought a few at once. I think at the same time they got Pole Position. Never really liked that. Miss Pac-Man, really liked that. And Dig Dug. And Dig Dug was one of my favourites. I played that game for ages at the time. It's also a fairly good port for the system as well. I mean, it looks like Dig Dug, it sounds like Dig Dug. Sure, the graphics are not as good and the rocks are now literally squares, but you can clearly tell it's still Dig Dug. I think it's got all point scoring systems in it that the actual arcade one has, which is pretty good as well. But yeah, very game that definitely brings a lot of memories to me. I really like the game, brings lots of memories to me. I also remember playing like crazy version on the Amiga of it as well. It was like some homebrew version, which literally just, well, technically looked better than the arcade version. For some reason, they renamed Dig Dug Bob, and it's a different name. I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, Dig Dug, definitely a game I'll never forget, and definitely got lots of memories about it. Right, so the next one, Bust-A-Move 4, or Puzzle Bobble 4, depending where you come from. I used to go, when we go to his grandparents, like, to trips, he used to take his PS1 with us, and we used to take a few games, and one of the games he usually took with us was Bust-A-Move. Any of them. This is the fourth one, because the fourth one has a lot of different content in it. So you're just collecting stuff. There's lots of stuff to collect in the game, like lots of extra modes and stuff, and that might be one of my favourite puzzle games of all time. It's got lots of single player content in it, and really good versus mode. The most characters in the versus mode in the entire series. But yeah, it's another game that most of my memories come around with. That I used to play it quite a lot with my family, mostly my mum, because she really likes that series and still plays it to this day. So yeah, lots of memories of playing versus and that was probably the most popular versus game we have. So lots of memories on that one. Right, so next one is House of the Dead 2. Now, you say, well, that's on multiple systems. So we're specifically talking mostly about, I'm going to call it the Xbox version here, because House of the Dead 2 is one of my family's favourite games on the Dreamcast. It's definitely the most played. It's another game that my mum loves to play. I don't know, she gets creeped out by zombie shows and all that, but still watches them. But has no problem with House of the Dead. Just loves running around with a light gun, just blowing the crap out of anything that moves. So yeah. So yeah, my whole family loved House of the Dead, and that was one of his favourite games on the Dreamcast. Then it got released. Then House of the Dead 3 came out, and we just got an Xbox recently. We actually went on eBay and ordered the Xbox version of House of the Dead 3 with a light gun. Unfortunately, the light gun broke, but I found in a local shop a different light gun that works with it, so we got that fixed. Anyway, there's a reason why I'm picking the Xbox version, because as an unlockable, you can unlock House of the Dead 2 if you complete free on it, and that's the entire Dreamcast version of the game. No, it's not the most played version of the game I own. That's the Wii version of House of the Dead 2 and 3, which is essentially just the Xbox version on a Wii disc. But yeah, lots of memories of that game. My God, if only we had noticed sooner. And all those stupid lines like, "Well, geez, bloodstains," and "the life cycle," and all those hilarious lines that game is full of. And Like I say, most people I know when they think of games think House of the Dead 2 for some reason. Right, and the last game is Pokemon Red on the original Game Boy. Now, the first thing I knew about Pokemon is I saw it in a magazine. It wasn't even a magazine I paid money for. My brother was subscribed to the official PlayStation UK magazine at the time. Because the publisher published Edge magazine, I think Future Publishing, they gave us a free copy of Edge one month. As a bonus, and they had a big shiny cover and it had Turok 2 written on it, like first review. I didn't care about Turok 2 review in the game, but in a page of it there was 2 pages. I think it said something like Monsters Invade Japan again, and it had a picture of the Tokyo Pokemon Center with all these tennies of Pokemon and all these things, these characters, and I had no clue who there was because I didn't know anything about the game. It just said Pocket Monster. Pocket Monster, yeah, and a big dragon and all that. We all know the classic Pokemon characters, but lots of these figures, and I think the one that interested me most in that picture was actually Ditto. They weren't the very big photographs; they were kind of small, but that was the first time I knew anything about Pokemon, and this was way before the show had actually been aired on UK TV, so I definitely knew about Pokemon before then as well. So yeah. And I just remember looking at this and wondering, yeah, it's actually an important memory for me for 2 reasons as well, Pokemon. It's not just that magazine thing, just like X1, but first of all, it kind of ties in with one of the things I always liked to collect to still do, and that's basically monster toys, because there was a toy line called, I think it's actually getting relaunched this year, for the 2nd time, called Monsters in My Pocket. Now, the name Monsters in the Pocket got changed thanks to Pokemon, so they renamed it to Pocket Monsters. No, because they thought Monster in Your Pocket sounded like Pocket Monsters, so they changed it to Pokemon. Obviously it's live everywhere now, but for a while in Japan it was Pocket Monsters, but everyone calls it Pokemon now, so yeah, so it's kind of tied in with one of my favourite toy lines to collect at the time as a kid. And all that, and I always loved monsters, and Pokemon had lots of strange looking things in it. That's sort of my kind of thing. I love monsters and strange things like that. So there's that. And then there's how I got Pokemon Red, and this is where the main memory comes into it. So I was so we went to Markham one day. I don't know if anyone's been to Markham, but it's a seaside resort in the UK. It's not a very big place, but every few years we used to go there. And usually go around all the shops and have a little go in the arcade there. I just remember the last video. I remember the last video, my arcade memories, I mentioned Markham as well, so there's part of me talking about that on there as well, but this is a different part of it. So yeah, went to the arcade, went to all these shops, went this kind of like round the circle, ended up by the end of the day at Frontierland, which was at the main end here of the place. Frontierland was basically, even though it's named after the same place as Disney theme park. Disney theme parks, nothing to do with them. It was a very, well, sort of smallish Western themed theme park. Yeah, so we used to go there, but we went to a market stall and saw Pokemon on there. So I didn't know what it was. The only thing I knew about Pokemon time was this Edge magazine. So I didn't know what this game was. I mean, it was an American copy of the game. I think I paid £30 for it, which is quite a lot for a Game Boy game, because all Game Boy games at the time was only 25. So yes, this was more expensive than most Game Boy games at the time. I remember just buying it, and buying it, and then we went obviously home. What I didn't realise is this was the last year the theme park was going to be open. Because in 2000, the Frontierland theme park closed down. It's now a home base. Yeah, it's a DIY store. They turned the theme park into a DIY store at the centre of near a beach. I know how stupid that sounds, but that's what happened with it. So basically, Pokemon reminds me of that theme park. So yeah, if I see Pokemon and I think of that theme park, Especially Pokemon Red. I mean, Pokemon Red isn't... It's a really outdated game now, and you won't want to play it if you've got any of the later ones, but that's not the point what I'm getting at. Well, sequels are much better games, that's for sure. Not many people would really want to go back to Red, the original Red anyway, but every time I play Pokemon, and Pokemon like Charizard, because they're on the cover, remind me of Markham and Frontierland, because Pokemon was, when I bought that game, that was the last time I got to go on that big wooden roller coaster and log flume and all the rides they had there before the place closed down. That was really depressing when it closed down. Okay, yeah, I even remember the very first time I played the game. I just had a quick go before I went to bed that night. Got completely destroyed by Gary, and I wasn't sure about the game, but then suddenly went there and bang. Favourite game series ever. Yep. So anyway, that's my response. So thank you for, well, I guess, watching and listening.